Good morning, everybody. It's just after 8:30. I've sort of screamed into my office down in Warkworth here because I have to get back to my house and finish packing for the flight that I'm on to Wellington this afternoon, and then I have a Rodney Electorate meeting this morning because I'm a member of the Rodney Electorate Committee, as every good politician should be, a member of their electorate committee. Because those people support us, we need to make sure that we support them back. So listen, I just wanted to talk about one little thing. Recently I went to a sector, an education sector event, and one of the elected officials of that particular organisation came up to me and said, listen, we know that New Zealand First has the best education policy out of all of the political parties, but you don't release piece by piece by piece of your education policy, so we can't put out a press release as well to support it. Because like the Greens do, for example, I mean, you know, I've made comment on Twitter and so on about the Greens putting out a policy which is a policy to create a plan to maybe support or to support compulsory te reo Māori in our mainstream or compulsory education sector. So, and New Zealand First has had a plan around making sure that we weave te reo Māori through the New Zealand curriculum as it's supposed to be, because there are progressions already from year 1 to year 13, but we don't have the te reo speakers to support the in-classroom teacher to deliver that. So anyway, this person said, you know, New Zealand First doesn't put out each individual piece of policy that we can then support through a press release. And that person is absolutely right. And I can't see New Zealand First doing it, because New Zealand First actually does quite a lot of detailed policy. So we don't release anything that we don't know how it's practically going to be delivered on the ground, particularly in areas like education or so on. Now, when you get to huge things like the economy, etc., there are philosophical directions that you go in, there are values and belief structures that you have that you can then not necessarily price out for New Zealand, but you can look at other economies where it has been successful, see the parallels with ours, and then know that if these certain steps were taken, that this is what the probable outcome would be. So with those ones, you can get, you know, and in a speech that the Right Honourable Winston Peters might give, you get an overarching feeling, because nobody wants to go to a 5-hour speech on the economy where every single detail of what we're going to do is outlaid in a speech. However, that's the sort of stuff we put in our manifesto. So, long story short, to counter what this individual said, I'm going to start speaking in my videos about bullet points of educational policy that New Zealand First has, and developing policy around special needs, developing policy around women's issues, developing policy around men's issues, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to start doing that as we build towards the election on the 23rd of September. And I hope that you will start to spread it for me so that we get a full and frank discussion about what the policies are of New Zealand First, rather than trying to wait for the mainstream media to pick up on it, because they will never, ever do New Zealand First justice. They're still stuck in the mindset that it's got to be a national or Labour-led government. It doesn't. It depends on how you vote. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and I hope that you'll help me and start to spread it wider, what the actual policies are, bullet point by bullet point, coming out of the manifesto of New Zealand First. Okay, we're going to start next week. See ya.